Today is the day. It's a day you guys have all been waiting for. We're going to be talking about air filters, guys. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody back to the Goodol'boys YouTube channel and also mention that this video is actually the second video in a little bit of a series here. So I ended up toasting the rings in my Hawk 250 because of the terrible Hawk 250 airbox design. So of course I had to replace the rings. I wasn't going to take a chance with the stock airbox. So I did some mods to the airbox. We're going to be talking about air filters in this video. And to wrap everything up, we're going to be doing some pretty heavy duty testing on the new airbox and air filter. All right, guys, so this video, as I said before, is just about the air filters. If you guys want to check out the other videos, they'll be linked in the description box below. The reason why I mentioned other videos is because I talked about pod filters in the airbox video. If you guys want to go down there and check it out. In my situation, I am against the pod filters, and while they may be great for some people, they're just simply not going to work in my situation. So that's why it was worth me modifying the airbox. So now we're going to be getting into what air filters to go with and why. Let's get into it, guys. Okay, guys, so now that that's all out of the way, I want to talk about air filters for a minute because obviously I am going to have to replace the air filter. So let's do that. Okay, guys, so right here in front of me, we have two air filters. One is the original air filter, obviously this one, and one is a Briggs and Stratton air filter that is commonly known for fitting in the Hawk. Now, I'll tell you guys in a second here why I have an issue with these filters that people say fit in the Hawk. So, yes, obviously, this is better than nothing, and I am going to run this for a few days until I can get the K&N air filter. So we'll see if the K&N is any better or not. But for now, I wanted to compare these two. Some obvious differences right off the bat here. You can see the flutes on the original airbox are a lot taller. So what that's going to do for you is you're going to actually get a whole lot more airflow. The air filter is going to be less affected as more dirt collects. So in other words, this filter you can run a lot dirtier than you'd be able to run this filter because it's just going to flow better. Second thing, on the back sides of these filters, you can see how restrictive this filter is going to be. Now, of course, if it's really clean and not wet, it's going to be no problem, I'm sure. But once this gets wet with water or covered with oil, like these air filters always do, you're going to start having problems, and this is going to start choking the Hawk a little bit. Number 3 here is going to be the actual thickness of the sealing part of the air filter. You guys can see right there how much difference there is. So the foam sealing part on this Briggs and Stratton air filter, it's a lot thinner. Okay, so let me show you guys why this is going to be an issue and why you shouldn't buy this Briggs and Stratton air filter. So hopefully I can show you this here. Maybe it's hard for you guys to see, but this filter is basically moving loosely up and down in this corner. So that's not good. So that means this filter is not going to seal. So really the best thing you can do is kind of stay away from these filters because they're just not going to seal right. You can't just put this in here and expect it to work. You got to have a thicker foam seal. All right, guys, so a quick little check-in with the airbox. We now have 261-ish miles. Wanted to show you guys the airbox. Now, of course, we haven't done any real serious testing like bashing through creeks or anything like that, but I did want to show you guys the airbox after just a couple hundred miles. So as you can see, no real dust, dirt, moisture in here, anything like that. So looks pretty good. I did go ahead and get a K&N air filter here. A lot of people were saying this 332238 is a filter that will work, and while it's physically somewhat similar to the original filter, and I'm sure it flows just as good or better, the real problem here is that this filter isn't going to seal in your bike, and that's for the fact that you guys can see here, hopefully you can see the rubber lip on this, or the seal, it is the same or less thickness than this, and you guys already know this filter does not fit snugly enough to really seal up. So you're going to have dirt and debris going around that retainer that holds the air filter in and right into your airbox. So either of these filters are no good. Basically, you're going to have to go with the factory filter or you could possibly modify your airbox so that way these filters would possibly work. So now I'm going to show you guys a very simple trick. This trick is going to allow you to run the Briggs and Stratton and K&N air filter without any leaks around the lip seal. Before we do that, I wanted to explain that you're simply not going to beat the factory air filter for not only fitment with the lip seal, but also filtration. One exception here is the K&N air filter has more flow, but I did want to show you guys why more flow is sometimes actually a drawback. So next, you guys are going to see a very simple comparison between a factory air filter versus an aftermarket high-flowing air filter.
Just going to take a little bit here. Get a good amount, good healthy amount here. Just keep pouring it on. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And actually that did a pretty good job. Yep, that did a pretty good job of filtering it too. I don't see any. And we're gonna go. Okay, same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so definitely I think we found the micron kind of level where this is not working at all. So got quite a bit that went through there. So I'll just do this again. Yeah, I mean it's a lot.
So I think this illustrates my point very well, which is that more airflow isn't always better. Now I'm going to show you guys what you need to do if you're going to be running the K&N or the Briggs and Stratton air filter. So we're going to try and make this simple and quick. I'm going to take the original air filter, put it on a piece of this foam stick-on padding stuff, trace around the original air filter, cut this out, make sure it fits with the sticky side down. It's time to cut out the center, lay the filter retainer on there. Now you don't have to be exactly precise here. Main point here is just don't cut it too short. Now we just need to fit and trim as needed. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna clean this surface off with some brake parts cleaner. All right. Now carefully position your foam and stick it on there. So all this is gonna do is make it so we can run a thinner foam on your air filter here. And you know, obviously it's a necessity with these air filters that are not factory. If you want them to seal upright, you simply have to thicken this up a little bit. So when you tighten this retainer down, it actually pinches the air filter in there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this air filter. All right, so right here was a very good example of where a loose corner was. Now you guys can see it doesn't move up or down or side to side like it did before. So we have a nice tight fit, and that's exactly what we want. So I did a little bit of testing with the Briggs and Stratton air filter. Unfortunately, it's not in this video. It'll be in the next video, which I'll have linked in the description box below and on the Hawk 250 playlist. So feel free to go check it out. The testing is actually pretty interesting. Now we're going to go ahead and install the K&N air filter. So guys, the last thing to do here is go ahead and install the K&N air filter. I am going to go with the K&N. So guys, I did go ahead and decide to go with the K&N air filter just because I had it laying around. If I had a factory filter, I would have just put that in the bike. So a couple reasons why I'd go with a factory filter. So obviously, number one, if you're going with any kind of aftermarket filter, you have to add that stick-on foam piece for the air filter to even seal up. Now, there's several problems with the lip seal on the K&N air filter. Number one, it's not as cushy as the paper filter's lip seal, so it's simply just not going to seal as well. And the reason why that is because when you tighten the retainer down, that lip seal on the K&N air filter is so stiff, the retainer on my bike at least is ever so slightly kind of arced like this. So around the edges of your air filter, where the air filter is under the arc of the retainer, you're not going to be getting a complete seal there. So that can be a problem. That means you're getting dirty air bypassing your air filter. So that's one of the reasons not to go with the K&N air filter. The next reason is it doesn't fit exactly right. You have to make sure that K&N air filter is exactly centered in the retainer. Otherwise, it can very easily come out from under the retainer if it's offset in any direction. And then the last thing, of course, which is more flow isn't always better, like we talked about earlier in the video. So nonetheless, I am going to take a chance on the K&N air filter, and hopefully everything works out. So officially at 5,063 miles, we're putting a brand new K&N air filter in the bike. In case you guys want to go get this, again, this is not a perfect fit. You have to do this foam modification to thicken up that surface, so when you pinch this in there, it seals correctly. But if you guys are looking for this filter, it is a 332238. You can go and pick this up at any of your local auto parts stores, and it is made in the USA, so that's pretty sweet. All right, guys, so we learned some lessons today, didn't we? You don't just want to jump on the bandwagon and blindly follow what other people are doing. As we could see earlier, the two filters that fit the bike perfectly were not exactly a perfect fit. So it was pretty clear that the only filter that fits perfectly is the original air filter. And to go along with this, you're not going to find an air filter that fits better or filters better. It's just a simple fact. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a filter that's better than the OEM filter. That's it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out that description box below. That's where all the other Hawk 250 air filter and airbox related videos will be. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Woo!
It's all about humanity.